Hey everyone, today I'm going to demonstrate a build I've been working on for a while in Path of Exile. This is for version 2.0, The Awakening, and it's a dual Dreamfeather elemental melee build. The idea is to take the Dreamfeather unique sword, and which increases your attack damage the higher your evasion rating is. So I stack evasion rating on gear by using just pure evasion gear, and I stack it on the tree, and I use Grace. While I'm increasing my attack damage, I'm also increasing my movement speed by using Queen of the Forest as my chest. Queen of the Forest gives a high evasion rating with a good roll, it gives life, and it gives resists, and the movement speed, of course, which is the main reason that I like using it. It's just fun. You can also use Kiri's Ire. The buffed version of that for 2.0 allows you to have increased ability to dodge, attack, and spell damage, but it doesn't have life or resists or the movement speed, so I think ultimately Queen of the Forest is a better choice. Now, you'll notice that I have a Soul Taker here, paired with my Dreamfeather. I call this a dual Dreamfeather build because for most people, you're going to want to use two Dreamfeathers and use blood magic linked to your main attack. However, I have a Soul Taker, and it's better if you can get one. Not necessary, but it allows you to drop the blood magic gem and get higher damage generally. Now, I tried mana. I tried using two Dreamfeathers and mana to sustain my attack, and in the Awakening, I can't stand it. I really don't like bothering with it at all. It's a pain. I was started as a Scion, so I could get lots of mana through the Scion start, and I took nodes on the tree like Druidic Rite and Primal Spirit, which are really excellent nodes. Spirit Void is excellent too, but it was just a lot of points away from what I like to do with this build. But even with those nodes that I took and mana regen on gear, and through using Enlighten with my auras in order to give myself more mana, to use more unreserved mana, it just was terrible. It was hard to sustain a high-level gem. Back in 1.3, I used a low-level gem, so mana costs were very easy. But here, in 2.0, your gems now, as they increase in level, they give increased attack damage, where previously it was just increased physical damage, which doesn't help a lot with this build, considering that Dreamfeather, at the time at least, had a very low physical damage. It's been buffed a little since, but that buff doesn't mean too much. I've tried a physical build with this, and it just... Elemental is really the way to go. The extra physical damage you get is just a little bonus. But anyway, two Dreamfeathers and mana, I didn't like it at all. Two Dreamfeathers and blood magic is perfectly fine. One Dreamfeather plus Soul Taker is best. Now, my damage, over 50,000 with Cleave. I recommend that most people use Reeve or Ice Crash because it's a lot easier to get the colors you need on your chest. However, Cleave is going to give you the highest tooltip DPS in my experience. This build uses mostly lightning damage. I get increased elemental damage with weapons on all the gear I can on my accessories, and I get flat lightning damage. And I pair that with Wrath and Herald of Thunder, and that lightning damage is, well, as you can see down here, I get between 282 and 4,000 lightning damage, so that's pretty substantial. I also get some extra lightning damage with static electricity here on the tree. This is the spot you want to put it in, this jewel. Lots of life on the tree. You want life, attack speed, movement speed, and you need charisma here in order to run the auras I showed, Grace, Herald of Thunder, and Wrath. And we want to get jewel slots when we can. In my other jewel slots, I have, well, normally I recommend that you get life and evasion in all your other jewel spots, but this jewel I rolled on my own and it was just too good for damage to not use it. Um, but normally you want something that's more like this. The freeze chance just happened to be there when I purchased this from somebody, but um, but it actually is really useful if you have added cold damage in your chest. So I have life regen, the mana doesn't matter. Um, Amplify is very important to increase the range of your skill, especially for Cleave. Cleave has a very tiny range until you get this. It feels perfectly fine with this for me, but lots of people prefer Reeve for because it just starts out with better AoE anyway. So more regen, uh, elemental damage, life, another jewel here again with the life and evasion rating on it, and these nodes. So that's the tree in a nutshell. These nodes right here you should save for later. It's attack speed. Um, you might even consider grabbing as much life as you can before taking these, but everything else on this tree I would go for when you can. Other nodes to take later on, Berserking is quite good for more attack speed. Up here, attack speed and movement speed, and then you can grab these life nodes while you're here if you want to. But this tree right here, aside from these three nodes, is really what you want to shoot for. Yes, so my DPS with Soul Taker is over 50,000. I'm going to pop my potions right now. Yeah, so that's over 73,000 when I have Atziri's Promise, Taste of Hate, and this Ample Jade Flask of Reflexes going. These are the potions you really want to shoot for. Taste of Hate's hard to get, I know, it's kind of expensive. So you could use a Granite Flask for protection. It won't increase your damage, but you need some type of protection here, and Atziri's Promise gives some leech, which is great, and this gives extra, and this gives you protection for physical damage. But again, just a regular Granite Flask is going to be fine. But this really increases your damage. I have a very nice roll here, but just using that flask alone is a pretty nice increase. And then you want some life potions probably. I like Sapping Eternal of Staunching. But you can use a divine life flask, bubbling, and what's the other? Well, the ones that heal your life instantly are pretty popular too. Uh, Now my gems, really quickly. Cast when damage taken, summon skeletons, Poacher's Mark. I recommend these three for just about everybody. Instead of Poacher's Mark, you could use Enfeeble if you prefer, but I like Poacher's Marks to help keep my flask charges up, and for the little extra life it gives on hit. Summon Skeletons is just used as a distraction for enemies, and it works very well. So these are the levels I like. Cast when damage taken level 6, Summon Skeletons 12, Poacher's Mark 9. Quality on these is really not important. I just happen to have them. In your second weapon, you want Blood Magic linked to Blood Rage, linked to Enhance if you can get one. Using Blood Rage just increases your life regen and your damage, so and gives you. Wow, I'm sorry, it does not increase your life regen. I use Frenzy Charges with the Blood Dance Boots to increase my life regen, and make myself able to use Blood Rage very easily. But you get increased attack speed with this, and Leech, so it's good both offensively and defensively once you have Frenzy Charges going to help you with some life regen that Blood Rage takes away. In my gloves, I have Leap Slam linked to Curse on Hit, Fortify, and Elemental Weakness. This is not possible without a Soul Taker. If you don't have a Soul Taker, and you're using 2 Dreamfeathers, you need to use Blood Magic in here, so you're not going to have a curse on hit. You would have Blood Magic linked to either Leap Slam or Whirling Blades, and faster attacks and Fortify. In my boots, I have cast when damage taken. You want a level 20 when you can. Increased duration, Val Haste, and Summon Ice Golem. That's the only thing that gets casted when damage is taken. So you want these at the same level all the time, and at the highest level you can get them. I really can't be bothered to cast a golem, so I love linking it to this, and it's out pretty much all the time when I'm in maps because of that. My other gear, again, the increased elemental damage with weapons and lightning damage. Their accuracy rating is really good too. I like an Onyx Amulet, lots of extra intelligence to help me meet the intelligence requirements for Wrath and Herald of Thunder, and evasion rating and increased percentage of evasion is great on your accessories too if you can get it. Yeah, so that's the basics. I think I covered things that have changed and the links I like to do. So without further ado, here's a Gorge map. Yeah, I didn't cover my chest links, did I? I'm using Cleave, added lightning damage, weapon elemental damage, multi-strike, faster attacks, and added cold. Yeah, multi-strike, weapon elemental damage, faster attacks are pretty much required for Cleave or Reeve. If you're using Ice Crash, you don't need multi-strike. Well, you don't want multi-strike because it won't work with it. And then you want to try to get added lightning and added cold in here if you can, or if for some reason you end up with 2 blue slots, added lightning with lightning penetration is quite good too. Now the trick to playing this build is knowing when to use your potions. Leap Slam into the enemies to activate Fortify, or Whirling Blades with Fortify. You need that pretty much all the time for protection. But potions, back there with the volatile Flame Blood, those things can really hurt. So you want to be ready to pop a potion right after you blow one of those up if you're next to it. I really don't recommend doing minus max resist maps, because if you hit one of those enemies in one of those maps, you can die instantly if you do not dodge it. One of the problems with playing an evasion build that doesn't give you higher resists except for cold damage, but nobody really cares about cold damage, from enemies at least, unless it's going to freeze you, but it's not going to freeze you because I'm using Alpha's Howl. Or at least it's not going to freeze me. Maybe it'll freeze you if you're not using Alpha's Howl. Okay, so frenzy charges are going. I've got my golem up. Check this out. Over 67,000 for my DPS. And that's without my flasks going. and without Blood Rage. Let's get Blood Rage going. Okay, my DPS, 72,000. Let's throw on my flasks. 101,000. This is not a crit build, remember. Oops, I did not mean to take that. And what? Lag? Okay. Major lag. Oh, I need you dead. Well, I'll come back for these. Show you the rest of the map. Now, despite this high DPS, it can feel a little slow sometimes against enemies that resist elemental damage. I actually have another chest that allows me to, instead of added cold damage, I have lightning penetration in it. And my DPS with that, and just totally lightning damage, well, lightning and physical damage, is about 46,000 with my auras activated. So it's lower than what I have now. However, clear speeds with it feel about the same. But that type of chest is ridiculously hard to roll. The colors on it. Oh, now I'm going to crit. Well, let's check this out. If I could crit all the time, my DPS without flasks would be, whoa, 103,000 with flasks, 145,000. That's fun. And I haven't even activated Val Haste yet. Let's try that out. You have to try that out. 167,000 with everything activated if I was critting all the time. Now, another thing you have to be careful from, aside from those volatile enemies and things that explode in general, can just really wreck you. You have to be careful of enemies that can crit and hit really big at the same time. It is really rare to be one-shot. However, as an evasion melee build in the Awakening, it's really just not good for hardcore, because eventually you will probably get one shot. Even if your life is like 5,000, you just get unlucky because a heavy-hitting monster crits you, and you don't dodge it or block it, and you die instantly if it's possibly a blue or a rare. I really don't think white monsters could one-shot you with this build, at this level at least. But I have been one-shot, definitely by rares on, well, on one occasion that comes to mind. And it was just insta-death, and I was like, what the hell? So, not a hardcore build because of that. It's unfortunate. You could try it if you want a big challenge in hardcore. Just you got to keep away from those hard-hitting enemies. Oh, this guy. Okay, so let's activate this. So here we go. Oh, get my flask going. 110,000. Oh, I think I lost some buffs there. I think it gets up to like 117,000 with my current gear and with everything activated. So that's my build. I hope you like it. I have a link to the forum post if you want to read more about it. Uh, Thanks for watching.